Hi, Facebook yogis. Does the thought of lying for any extended period of time in balasana, child's pose, fill you with trepidation? Well, you're not the only person. A lot of people find child's pose really challenging, although it's meant and is a very restorative and deeply restful pose. If you have any issues around your hips, your hamstrings, your knees, even the fronts of your feet, resting in child's pose can be an enormous challenge. But if you slowly persevere and make some adjustments, you will be able to do child's pose with comfort and ease. So for a start, if you feel as though you're face planting when you're going into child's pose, you're probably quite tight around the hips and the back of your body. So a good way for you to start working very slowly into getting openness in the body is to use 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 or 4 blocks, as many as you need. Bring your knees about hip width apart, then place your forehead on the blocks and allow your hands to rest towards your ankles. And slowly but surely, as you stay in the pose, the knees, the quadriceps will start releasing and you'll be able to get your bottom further and further back to your heels. If you find that you're very tight in the quads, a good way to help the body open and stretch is to use a block or a pillow even, and place it between the knees and then release your bottom. So it just gives you that extra little bit of space. You could even use a block and a pillow, and then you'll find that you're a lot more comfortable with a lot more space to come forward on the mat into child's pose. Another thing that you can do is to use, when I teach yin yoga, we do child's pose as one of the yin postures. We use a bolster. If you don't have a bolster handy, you can obviously use a folded blanket, a rolled up yoga mat, a fold up pillow. Bring your knees wider than the bolster, draw the bolster into the center, and then very slowly release your chest onto the bolster. And then you can choose to maybe bring your face to the side. The arms can be forward, the arms can be back, and this way you get the benefit of a lovely restorative pose without actually having to, create any discomfort in your body. The other thing is that I know this isn't a blessing I have, but ladies with large breasts find child's pose really, really challenging because, of course, the aim here is to connect your belly to your thighs. And if you have large boobs, there's simply nowhere for them to go. So these poor ladies end up like this in child's pose. My adjustment would be to take the knees apart. So if your knees are wider apart, there's room for the upper body, and you can then slowly release your chest onto the floor, or if you lack the mobility, use the adjustments that I gave earlier to perhaps have blocks underneath the front of the chest so that there's space for the breasts, and you can then rest your chin and your shoulders on the blocks, or alternatively use the bolster as I did at the start, drawing the bolster in between the hips and using that to support your upper body until you've got the space for your bottom to release towards your heels, or do what feels good for your body. The other thing that often happens in child's pose is that people get cramp in the front of their feet because they're very tight in the tibialis anterior, this muscle that runs alongside your shin bone. It's a dorsiflexor. So the job of tibialis anterior is to dorsiflex your foot. And if you're very stiff here, if you run, if you cycle, or if you simply walk around in high-heeled shoes all day, this part of your body becomes really tight. And then you're trying to come into child's pose with your legs straight and placing your body weight down onto that muscle, stretching the front of your feet. It's absolute agony. So if this happens, lift your bottom away from your heels And start by slowly just working into getting the upper body down. You can place your forehead on your hands, gently bringing a little bit of space in the front of your shins until you've actually got enough space there for stretching and for allowing your body weight to rest on the shins and the fronts of your feet. So that's my Facebook yoga snippet for today. I hope that you enjoyed day 6, which is today. There's a whole series of 5 yoga videos in the news feed from last week, and I will continue for the rest of this week. We're going to take it a bit further now into perhaps some seated twists and talking about inner thighs and inversions, so maybe doing a few forward bends and that sort of thing. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the Facebook Live videos, please do comment in the post for me, or if there's a particular yoga pose that you would like to know more about, let me know and I can add it in for you. Until tomorrow, wishing you a super lovely rest of your afternoon. Namaste.